More extreme pruning today. I'll show you what's going on. So I've already taken some major limbs off of this one, and this is right next to the house. And you can see the powdery stuff on these leaves, which means they're not getting enough air circulation. And then when you look down here, it's actually got algae growing on it. So I cut most of that off. I've cut out some very large centerpieces like this. Oh, you can see the algae there. I left that, I was opening up the center of this so that it could get more sunlight and that make these happy things, make these happy parts grow a little bit better, and to get some of these viney weeds out of here. And on this bush, which is taller than I am, I cut out a couple of these really large chunks. You can see there. That's the size of a small tree. It's 4 feet long and over 18 inches wide. And that was blocking a lot of light. But additionally, when I got down in here, you can see that there's quite a bit of dead stuff. And this dead stuff indicates that it's not getting enough light, it's not getting enough air circulation. Nope. And there's an entire limb that just broke off. So that piece comes out. So it was large and kind of full, but there's some junk growing in it. And a lovely mimosa tree here in Little Georgia. A tropical tree doing well in our climate. And then from the front here, it's a very large bush. There's a trunk right in there, and then there's another bush right back there, and then another bush in the back there. Gonna whittle this down quite a bit. Here's a great example where this limb is too far out from the trunk. It just keeps getting larger and larger in diameter. And as it gets longer, it gets larger and gets longer and gets larger. It's very, very heavy, and it's pulling away from the trunk. So that one's gonna go. Hello, little lady. Yep. You gonna be tiger in the jungle? Yep. Yep. All right, so big difference. This is just, I'm not finished with it yet. I'm going to show you some of the progress. I'm not showing you step by step. You can see all the green that's on the inside. There's lots of new growth that just can't get any light. There's lots of very long, this is a good example here, long, springy growth. And even the limb that's on is very long and springy. Cutting back to a very strong trunk. You can see this one minus the vine, but this one can't hold itself up from its own weight, so that one probably would come off. You can also see down here some mold, fungus, oops, all fell off, but lots of little white clumps of stuff. This, you can see the dirt's very wet. There's a lot less algae in here, but you can see now from the sunlight that's shining on these that it's going to get more sun in, and then we'll do something similar to this one. We've got long, leggy, outstretched limbs from the base. We've got some dead stuff, another couple of long, out-reaching limbs that are sagging, and we'll cut those off and give this some more sunlight. Yeah, it'll take a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months for this to kind of normalize, but it will look a lot better and be a lot happier. And as far as this right here, this is actually another bush. It has rooted itself, some from either that one or from this one, but this is a new, possibly 2 bushes which I can dig up and transplant. So save a couple of bucks there. All right, so there's the first bush. Here's the second bush, and come around here to the third bush. I'm into the third bush, which is closer to the house, and you can see the fungus, lots of dead little bits and twigs which I'm trying to remove, and there were lots of weedy vines up in here. Even this one, I mean, poor thing, it's just, you know, dead and dried up. See more fungus down there. Yeah, a couple of bricks have fallen off of the patio. Get that fixed. So I'm gonna lop this guy off probably about here, since we do have some growth down here, and that'll put it underneath the porch. And obviously this is nice and open, southern exposure, sunlight this way. That's what I cut off, and that's what was exposed. Before, after. So as I said, there are 3 major trunks here, 1, 2, and 3. I'll come back and trim these off after this starts filling in a bit. I have 1 or 2 here that have self-rooted, and just because this is too funny, this is also a bush that had a sprout or a limb come in underneath the ironwork over the brick and has sprouted. So this is a unique bush. It is not connected to anything. So I've got a friend, Robert, who might have need for these guys. So we'll dig these up a little bit later, and you can see it was even, we got algae growing on the ironwork from the lack of sunlight and air circulation. So yeah, this will be a lot better. I don't think it's been this open since we bought it. And not done. So from the end of May to the middle of November, this is how the shrub has recovered from its extreme pruning. You can see that we have a lot more green inside. That's very healthy, and that'll be a lot of fun. That one needs to be shaped. I have that stuff lopped off so it can be a bit more compact and just right there. These large parts I left on so that this could, the body of it would have opportunity to not immediately die. So these were capturing sunlight while this down here recovered. Apologize for the light. The sun is going down. We can see that it has put on a lot of new growth along these limbs. This will be an opportunity now over the winter to trim these back so that we can tighten it up considerably, because this thing was 6 feet tall. Parts of it are still at least that big. And the large trunk down here in the middle. We now have some dead ends that aren't producing any greenery. Even this portion here hasn't put on any new growth. We've got a little bit back here, but the base itself is right there. It's about 8 inches across. It could still have a lot removed just to tighten it up, because it was just out of control. And this one back here, you can just see the debris from everything that tries to grow back here, including the stupidly large mimosa tree. This one could almost go away because it's just a bit of a hindrance. Because this is actually three. There's one there, there's one here, which is in great shape, and there's one at the front, which actually, this is a fourth one. That rooted from a limb there. It is coming along. It's healed up quite nice. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Too many hobbies, not enough time.
It's a theme song, y'all.